Hi everyone and welcome back to Salesforce FAQs. So today in this video I will explain how you can auto assign leads in Salesforce using the flow. So in this video we are going to create a record trigger flow through which we can automatically assign leads in Salesforce based on the specific conditions. So first let me show you a demo record trigger flow that I've created to auto assign leads in Salesforce. So this is the record trigger flow that I've created to auto assign the leads to the users. So here I have defined a condition that when a user state will be California, Florida or Texas, then it will be assigned to the user A. And if the user states are New York and Washington, then it will be assigned to the user B. So for this, we have used the update record element. And here I have mapped the owner ID with the ID of the user. So this is the ID of the user to whom the lead is going to be assigned when the trigger conditions are true. So in this example, I have used the user ID, and you can also use the ID of the queue if you want to auto assign the leads to the queue. Let's move ahead and see how we can create this record trigger flow to auto assign the leads. And before starting the flow, I will just take few seconds to inform you about the Salesforce Agent Force webinar that is going to happen on 17th of the September. So let's see what you are going to learn in this webinar, then we will continue to the flow. So this is the live webinar that is going to happen on 17th of September. And in this live session, you will get to know about the automation that you can do using the Salesforce Agent Force. So in this webinar, you will get a brief intro of Salesforce Agent Force and also the useful features of Agent Force. And then you will get to know different type of agent you can build in Salesforce in Agent Force. And along with this, you will also learn the activation of agent and how it works. So if you are in the Salesforce ecosystem, then this webinar is totally going to be the worth of your time. And I will leave the registration link in the description. So make sure to sign up and reserve your spot. So let's move ahead and see how we can create the pie chart. So for the same condition that I have shown you in the demo, we are going to create the record trigger flow to auto assign the leads. So before that, I will just deactivate the existing flow so that it do not contradict with the condition of the new record trigger flow that we are going to create. So here I will deactivate this flow and go back to the flow setup. So now to create a flow, we will first click on the new flow button and here select the option triggered, and again here select record trigger flow. So here first we need to select the object. So this trigger is for the lead object. So here the object will be lead. And then in the section configure trigger, we have to select uh, when the flow will trigger. So here I will select a record is created or updated. So with this, every time the record is created or updated with the trigger condition, then this flow will trigger, then this flow will run. And here in the condition requirement, we will leave the condition as none. And here in the section optimize flow, select the option action and related records, because here we will run the after save trigger because we want to update the ownership. And for this we have selected this actions and related records. So now according to the scenario, we are going to add a decision element to check which region the leads belong to. So for that I will add a decision element over here. So here I'm going to label this decision element is check region. And then in the outcomes, I will define two outcomes, that if the lead state belong to California, Texas or Florida, then it will be assigned to user A. And if the state are New York or Washington, then the lead will be assigned to user B. So for the West states, I will label this outcome as West Coast, West Coast reps. And here we will select the condition requirements as or. So here the condition will be triggering lead state equals to California, and like this I will add two more condition, that is for the Texas and Florida. Triggering lead state equals to Florida, and the same way triggering lead state Texas. So this decision will check if the lead belong any of the three states that I have mentioned over here. And the next outcome we are going to define for the East Coast states. And here again we are going to select the condition requirements as any condition is met, or, and the resource is going to be triggering lead state equals to New York, and then next one is for Washington. So this decision element will check if the lead state belong to any of these two states. And now we are going to add update records for both the decision elements, that if the lead state is West Coast, then it will be assigned to the user A, and if the lead states is New York or Washington, then it will be assigned to user B. So here select update triggering record, and here the label will be assign leads to rep A. So here in the field we have to map the owner ID with the ID of the user or the queue. So to get the user ID, there are two options, that either you can go to the setup, and from the setup you can go to the users or the queue, and in the user setup you have to select the user to whom you want to assign the ID. And here you will see in the URL there is a 15-digit code. So this is the user ID that you can copy from here and then paste it in the value over here. And to get the more accurate ID, if you are not able to get it from the URL, you can also use the Salesforce workbench. So this is the workbench, and using the workbench you can export the user IDs. So here log in with your Salesforce credentials, and here select SQL query, and the object here will be the Salesforce user, and then click on the select button, and here select the bulk CSV option. And now here in the fields select user alias for recognizing the user, and also the user ID. So here is the user ID. So also you can apply the filter conditions. So after writing the SQL query, click on the query button. So with this you will get the user data with their ID. So as you open this downloaded CSV file that we have downloaded, so in this you will get the ID of the user. So from here also you can get the user ID, or the same way you can also get the queue ID. So for example, I want to assign the leads from the first decision to the user David Berioff and his username. So for that I will copy the user ID and go back to the flow, and then I will paste the flow ID over here. And now in the same way I will add update record element to the second decision also. Now in the filter condition again I will select the owner ID, and this time I will select another user. So make sure that the user or the queue that you are selecting in this flow have the required permission to own a lead record. So the next ID I will get it. So here again I will copy the user ID, and here I have pasted the ID in the mapping fields. So with this we have completed the flow. So now according to the trigger condition, when the lead is created, then this flow will trigger, and then using the decision element it will check if the states are from the west coast, that is Florida, Texas, or California, then it will be assigned to the user, then it will be assigned to user A. And in the same way, if the states are New York or Washington, then it will be assigned to the user B. So now we are going to save and activate the flow. So for that click on the save button. So now we are going to save and activate the flow. So for that click on the save button. So I'm going to give the flow label as assign leads to sales reps, and then we will save the flow. And after saving the flow we need to activate the flow. So here I will click activate button, and now to check the working of the flow we will go to the leads tab. So from the app launcher I will navigate to leads, and here I will create a new lead record. So here I have entered the state as Texas, and according to the trigger condition, if the state are from the west coast, that is California, Florida, and the Texas, then it will be assigned to the user A. So here I will click on the save button, and as we can see, after creating the record, this lead is assigned to the user, that is David Benioff, and I can also show you the ID for the user that we have taken. So as you can see, this is the ID of the user that we have mentioned for the user A, and the same ID will be there in the update record element. So here you can see this is the same ID that we have assigned for the leads that are created for the West Coast region. So this is how you can auto assign leads in Salesforce to a user or a queue using the record trigger flow. And I hope that you have liked this video. Then please do like, share and subscribe us, and do not forget to hit the bell icon so that you can get regular updates of our upcoming videos. And thank you for giving your time and watching this video till last. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.